Yo, 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 yo. Welcome, everybody, to the Cinema Lounge Podcast, episode 24. My name is Garrett Inman, where we just chill and talk about movies. That's the motto. That's just how we roll, man. Well, if you're very confused right now and wondering, why does Garrett sound like a 14-year-old adolescent boy? Allow me to introduce myself properly. My name is Duncan Covert, and I'm filling in for Garrett this week as he is out of town in Colorado, stranded in the middle of the desert, if you've seen some of his stories. But he couldn't be here, so he asked me to fill in and step in for him this week. So I hope that I can do my part, and I'm just honored to be here and be back on this podcast with you guys. So I want to also introduce, as you see now, a guest of mine that I brought with me. He is a co-host of the infamous, for lack of a better word, Sports and Donuts podcast, Mr. Ethan Pompeo. What's up, man?
They call me the Pope. I'm Ethan Pompeo.
They call it Pope. Yes, he is the Pope. He is the Pope.
I am the Pope.
But yeah, man, hey, thanks for coming on, bro. I'm glad we could do this.
You're welcome.
Gosh, what the heck, bro?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just here for Garrett. We're stepping in for him, and this is episode 24 of the Cinema Lounge podcast. So let's go right into what he calls, I believe, if I said this right, the weekly headlines. And I'm sure, depending on what Garrett does, this will be on the screen. If not, I will do my best to explain. But starting with the first headline, which then I'll get your reaction, Ethan. So trailer number 2 of the upcoming Venom movie, Venom Let There Be Carnage, came out just a couple of days ago. And Ethan, when I first watched it, it's like, dang, this looks really promising. Like, Carnage looked a lot better CGI wise than the first trailer. I kind of thought that he looked a little bit cartoonish and not really intimidating and scary like Carnage is. But he looks a lot better in this trailer. And it looks like it's a lot of fun. Now I can understand, and I'll get your opinions on this because I'm sure you've seen the first one, but I've known and seen some people that really didn't care for the first one. And in some ways I understand why. But for me, I really had a good time with it. Especially the relationship between Eddie and Venom. And it's looking like they're continuing to do that, or they will continue to do that in this next film. So, Ethan, have you seen the trailer?
I'll be honest, Duncan, I haven't even seen the first movie.
You haven't seen Venom, bro?
No, it's just, it kind of, when I found out that Venom had nothing to do with the Spider-Verse, like I thought, and then I found out Venom was in San Francisco. That bothered me, bro.
Like, why did it bother you, man?
Because Venom's supposed to be in New York City, bro. Like, I feel like Eddie, that guy, Tom Hardy's Venom with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, that would have been top tier. That would have been that would have been amazing. But now I really do want to see the first and second because Woody Harrelson playing Cletus Cassidy as Carnage.
Yeah.
That looked pretty dope. Cletus Cassidy is crazy, like really messed up in the head, and Woody Harrelson's a great actor to play that role. And just the way Carnage looked in that trailer, that was pretty dope. That was amazing. Dude, I was shocked when I saw that.
Yeah, and especially he looked really good. And the end of the trailer got me cracking when
he was like, "I'll let you eat anybody you want." Yeah, that was funny.
He's like, "Anyone? Yes, anyone." He's like, "Oh yeah." Dude, it was hilarious, bro. Yeah, it was a really good trailer. It got me excited for the movie. It seemed like it didn't reveal too much about the movie other than what the relationship will be like between Cletus. Oh, did I say that? Yeah, Cletus Cassidy and Eddie Brock. It showed a little bit of how that relationship will start, because as you heard from him, that I'm probably gonna botch the line, but he's like, "Eddie, we're family." And that makes sense because in the trailer he bites Eddie Brock's hand to get the symbiote, then which transforms into Carnage. So it kind of makes sense. So you kind of get a glimpse of the relationship. But the trailer looked really good. Ethan, you really need to watch the first one before you go see Let There Be Carnage.
Oh yeah, for sure,
100%. You need to find a way to see that, man. It's, there's going to be, like I said, there's people that don't really necessarily like it, and I understand in some ways why. It's not a perfect film, but if you put that all aside, it's really good. So hopefully you get to watch it here soon. Next bit of news here. It was confirmed that the late, great Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, will voice King T'Challa in only 4 episodes of the upcoming Marvel series What If, which comes out August 11th.
I'm excited for that.
You excited for it?
The entire What If, like they said it was canon.
Dude.
They said like that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next bit of news. The writer confirmed that What If would be canon. And for those that don't understand what that means, it's basically this What If TV show that's coming up on Disney Plus is officially a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's going to play a big role in how Marvel movies are for the rest of Phase 4 and on. So do not look over this series whatsoever. Don't look over it. And how this transpired was at the end of Loki. You saw Loki and Sylvie, spoiler warning, my bad. It is what it is. Opened up the multiverse, and pretty much all the crap hit the fan. No pun intended. But so that's what If's gonna follow right after that. And it's gonna break open the multiverse even more, which then turns into Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, all that good stuff like that. So this show is officially canon, so it's going to be dope. And also, too, the last bit of part of this was What If. So far, there's confirmed 2 seasons. I don't know how many more they would do after that, but we know for sure that each season will be 9 episodes each, which is promising, which is great. I'm always down for 9 episodes. What were you going to say, Ethan?
Well, I was gonna ask, is it like, are they it's not like 9 episodes focused around a different character, right? Like it's just 9 episodes, right, of like season. Then they'll do like different people, different episodes. Like you said, Chadwick Boseman will be in 4 episodes, and that'll be 4 episodes out of 9 episodes for that one season.
No, I think from my understanding of what I've watched YouTube videos or whatsoever on, so each episode will revolve around a certain scenario. Like, for example, the most popular one so far, Peggy Carter is Captain Britain. But also, to my understanding too, that there's going to be certain characters, so like Chadwick Boseman's King T'Challa or Black Panther, and also Spider-Man are gonna have bigger roles, and then however they do it, I'm not sure. They're gonna show up in more than one episodes, whether that's towards the end of the episode or whatever. But yes, it does focus on scenarios in different episodes, but there's some certain characters that will bleed over and be a continuation of the episode before. So that's to my understanding. So probably that's what Black Panther is going to be. That's going to be part of his character. Because also, I just remember this too. The what if scenario with Black Panther. This is not a spoiler warning because it's in the trailers. But it's what if Black Panther was
Star-Lord.
Yeah,
Star-Lord, right?
Star-Lord, and he was kidnapped by the Ravagers. So that might play more into each episode instead of just that one certain one. So it'll be interesting to see. But that series starts August 11th, which, if I can get my calendar real quick, by the time that you're listening to this, whoops, that's the calculator. My bad. By the time you're listening to this, it will come out this Wednesday. So be ready for that. It will premiere on Wednesday, August 11th. So next bit of news, Knives Out 2, which, Ethan, have you seen the first one?
No, it has like Chris Evans and like the guy who plays James Bond, right? It has all them in it, right?
Craig. It has
Daniel, yeah.
Yeah, it has a bunch of other famous actors in it. It's really good. You need to see it.
It's like a mystery, like, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a murder mystery movie, and it's really, really good. Um, really good characters, really good storyline. Um, and the for twist at the end was really good. It landed it well. And then the director Ryan Johnson, which if you don't know, um, directed what uh, the Last Jedi. Um, that was the worst one of the new ones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that guy.
Yeah, so he directed that one. He also directed Knives Out, which he did really good on. But anyway, the news is he confirmed that they are halfway through filming Knives Out 2, which is expected to come out sometime in 2022. So we'll be on the lookout for that for sure.
Yeah.
Next bit of news, Terry Crews, famous actor, comedian, known for his role mainly in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. As we know, the last season has been confirmed and will premiere this year or next year, something like that. But the last season is coming up, and Terry Crews is already pitching ideas for a Brooklyn Nine-Nine movie. So we'll see about that. Have you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
We've seen some of them. Some of it. Is it good? It's like a not. Is it like a Parks and Rec cop show basically?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, there's like, I haven't like watched enough episodes to form a huge opinion on, but it is relatively funny. And it kind of gives the vibe of Parks and Rec. Not really much of The Office, but kind of in a way, camera wise. But yeah, it's a very promising show and a show that I need to watch all of it because I've heard it's gotten like really popular recently. Um, so yeah, Terry Crews is pitching ideas for Brooklyn Nine-Nine movie as the last season is upcoming soon. Next bit of news. So it's confirmed that these MCU movies and shows that are coming before the end of 2021. So we got What If, which we just talked about, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Hawkeye, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Miss Marvel. So Ethan, I ask you, which out of these, which one are you most excited for?
Dude, I just if I get a trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home, because I just want to see. I don't know, man. It's just like they're pointing more and more towards the multiverse, and like Doctor Strange is in the movie, and like I don't know. I see these like leaks all over like social media about like, ooh, new toys have been leaked, or new like books that tie into the
Yeah.
movies have been leaked, and you see the words multiverse, and you see the words like Spider-Man travels across, and then you see Spider-Man, and like I'm just like freaking out because like I need to see Andrew Garfield once again, bro. He's my favorite Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield was
Favorite.
maybe he wasn't the best Peter Parker, but as Spider-Man, he was amazing. Like the quips, the web slinging, the fight, the action, dude, top tier. Toby's just like that. He's like iconic. But like, yeah, I'm gonna say No Way Home, and then Shang-Chi, Eternals, and then Hawkeye. I don't really care for Miss Marvel. Did you know Miss Marvel? She's gonna be using tech instead of she has in the comics. She has powers like she can expand. She's like Mr. Fantastic in a way, but not really. She's
Yeah.
just like elastic. She can get big. She can expand. But they just released that she's gonna just have tech. That's her powers are gonna come from tech, and that annoyed the crap out of me.
That's the thing,
Sorry.
bro. I know. Speaking of that, literally, if you go back, listeners, I'm sure you listen, but if you go back and listen to episode 23, Garrett talks about that same exact thing, how source material is important and how certain MCU movies or just superhero movies in general will, in a way, like skew their powers. So, like, for example, with Miss Marvel or right, Miss Marvel, that's the
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll understand that, hey, this is her actual powers, but no, let's give her tech instead. So they're not really paying honor to that source material, the comic books.
Dude,
So
just like Taskmaster and Black Widow.
he talks about that same thing
Taskmaster,
too.
dude, like, you know how annoyed I was, dude? I haven't even seen the movie. That's why I won't see the movie because I found out, like, Taskmaster, like, come on, man. Like,
No, it's I totally understand, dude. Like
I
I
hate when Marvel
I
does
I
that.
did no research on Taskmaster before I went to go see this, and I probably should have. Um, So at first I was like, I watched it and I was like, okay, I mean, Taskmaster's cool or whatever. But then I go research because I saw the outrage of so many fans. And then I start to understand like, wow, they totally underpowered Taskmaster
Like
like to an
first of all,
extreme.
it's supposed to be a he.
Yeah.
Second of all, not supposed to have tech that can like. It seems like every point they can, like I love Tony Stark, but every point they can in the MCU, they always want to give this person Stark tech. Like I'm pretty sure Kamala, Miss Marvel, her name's Kamala Khan, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna give her Stark tech. Like, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah, it's
this
time. When it's time to move on, it's time to move on.
is annoying.
But yeah. So
I got a
anyway,
headache.
yeah. It
I
was
got a headache from talking about that.
oh my gosh, what a guy. But
Exactly.
yeah, that's the MCU stuff that's coming out. I'm really excited, obviously, for What If. Just the concept of that's going to be dope. Shang,
Spider Man's
yeah,
gonna be a zombie hunter
dude, yes. I,
with
I I
the
saw that the other day and I was like, oh,
cloak.
heck yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be so
yeah.
sick. Also, I'm getting each trailer that comes out, I'm getting really excited more and more for Shang-Chi. Just because I really don't know anything about him. Um, and
Nobody
I'm glad
does.
that and I'm hoping that they they do the Mandarin right instead of what they
Instead
did
of Iron,
in
yeah.
Iron Man 3. Bless that movie, my gosh.
See, before this movie, Shang-Chi is coming out, like what you were just talking about, how they'll skew the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, I think is the biggest mistake they have ever made. Like that was bad.
No, yeah, I love I will die on a hill saying it's an unpopular opinion, but I will die on the hill saying that Iron Man 3 is one of the best MCU movies, but that twist was so trash and took me out of the movie that quick. But I hope that I bet they will, but I hope they do the Mandarin better this time.
It looks
But I'm
good. It
really,
looks good so far.
yeah, it looked all the trailers and whatnot, pictures, whatever, the suits. It looks really good. So I'm excited about that. And the abominations in it. So that'll be cool. Um, Also, like the Eternals, I don't know much about the Eternals. And I really don't want to until I watch it. I mean, I'm going to watch it anyway. So I'd say I'm least excited about that one and also Miss Marvel. Um, but obviously, Hawkeye being, I'm gaining more hype for Hawkeye. As you know, I'm sure you've seen it online, but the end of,
Yeah,
um,
she's coming to hunt down Hawkeye.
so the
Do
post,
you think Madam what's her name? Madam Hydra, right? Do you think
well,
she's
yeah,
gonna show up
that's a nickname, but I think like for
for
short, it's
real
Mal.
now? Do you think she's gonna show up in Shang-Chi to like recruit Abomination?
I mean, she might. She might. I'm not really sure if Abomination is a part of any. Um,
I feel like they didn't just stick him in there after 14 years.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, after what, like 2008, the last
Yeah,
time
the
he showed
Incredible
up.
Hulk. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Incredible Hulk.
the last time he showed up. Um, I can understand that. Maybe I'm not really sure. I guess we'll have to see. But also, being the most excited for No Way Home. As each and every week, I'm getting more anxious that a trailer is going to drop. Um, but also too, like I kind of don't want a trailer to drop because I don't want to know much about it until I go see it. And all the surprises happen naturally. So we'll see. Um, Next bit of news here. A live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film is in the works at Paramount Studios. Michael Bay is producing it with Colin and Casey Jost, excuse me if I pronounced that wrong, is writing the script. This is confirmed, however, separate from the movie that comedian slash actor Seth Rogen is working on. So we're apparently getting two different live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies soon, whenever they come out. But
Is it like continuations of the other two that came out like a few years ago?
no, I don't think it's going to be a
No.
continuation. It'll be a complete reboot or something like that. Um,
Okay. Okay.
what did you, speaking of that, what did you think of the live action ones that came out a couple years ago? That one and like
Well,
Out of the Shadows or whatever it was called.
yeah. I saw the first one and it was okay. I only watched the second one because the guy that plays Oliver Queen, Stephen Amell, in the Arrow TV show, played Casey Jones in that. So that's the only reason I watched it. I mean, I don't remember much of it, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's always cool.
Yeah, yeah, but Seth Rogen is gonna do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. I'm not really sure if it's live action or if it's animated. I guess we'll find out. But Michael Bay, will be doing another one as well. Which, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Bay did the first two.
I'm not sure.
Let me look that up real quick. Because I feel like he did do the first two. I think he did. Yeah, he did. So anyway, Michael Bay will be on that, which you don't know, produced Transformers, which we'll get to later when it comes to our topic. But next bit of news here, Mandalorian season 3. I know you'll be excited about this one. Will reportedly start soon, as lead actor Pedro Pascal is currently filming the video game adaptation of The Last of Us. However, it will not conflict with the schedule of The Mandalorian, so everything is still in play. The schedule is still good for the popular Star Wars Disney Plus show. So I know you're definitely probably excited about that, as am I, because The Mandalorian was dope as heck.
Just the way that last episode was, man. I need to see more of that.
You see more of Luke Skywalker-esque cameo or the intent.
Did you see the deep fake on YouTube? Like somebody did their own deep fake and it looks better than the one. Yeah.
Yes, and he got hired by Disney, or hired by Lucasfilms, or whichever one of those corporations. But I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, the heck is that young Mark Hamill there? It was really cool. But yeah, what they did with not only Mandalorian season 1 just coming out of nowhere, really that a character that some would say wasn't that popular, people weren't that excited about, but the way that Jon Favreau did it was refreshing for Star Wars fans, especially coming off the newest trilogy, and the kind of the disappointment of that. And then season 2 just kind of stepped it up a little bit, especially with the last scene, the last episode, the finale of season 2 was just amazing. Having Luke Skywalker come in like that, all the emotions there, and you really got to explore our main character Mando, played by Pedro Pascal as well, and you felt for him because he shows some emotion too when it came to Baby Yoda. And obviously the most popular character of The Mandalorian is Grogu, Baby Yoda. So that has definitely helped it a lot. So hopefully season 3, he'll come back. We're not too sure. Obviously, he was taken away by Luke Skywalker, but we'll probably focus more around Mando and more of his adventures and whatnot in the galaxy in season 3. So that's awesome. Next bit of news here. Let me scroll, make sure I got it. James Gunn, director and producer of the upcoming film. Well, it won't be upcoming once this podcast come out, but he is the director and producer of Suicide Squad, the reboot, has more DC projects waiting, apparently, to the DC Films president. The film Suicide Squad, which hit August 5th, the day that we're recording this, which, fun fact, came out the same day as the one in 2016 did. So,
oh, really? Did you see the original one?
I did see the original one, which I can see. Again, it's one of those movies like that. I understand why people didn't like it, and there were certain things that they did that I didn't like. But also, like, I sat down and I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I mean, the way
I think I did too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not by any means, it's not amazing. It's not a top tier superhero movie whatsoever. It's definitely one of the ones I do not like, that I like the least. I better put that in more better phrasing. Like, for example, what they did with the Joker and Jared Leto, like, it's a little questionable for me. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. especially with the actors that were playing and portraying the characters. Some did a good job, but this new reboot that James Gunn is doing looks really good, and hopefully for you listeners, by the time you're listening to this, you would have seen it by now, and we hope you enjoyed it. I will probably see it here eventually, and it's gotten like
Apparently, John Cena's in the movie, but I personally haven't seen him in any of the trailers.
I haven't seen.
I haven't seen him at all.
Ooh, dude,
Who?
every time that John Cena's in something, I just don't see him. I don't understand why they cast him.
Like, dude, you're just giving out money to somebody who's not there.
Man, I love John Cena. He's so much fun in movies. Excuse me, but yeah, he has more DC projects in his mind, in his back pocket, apparently. So hopefully, DC will allow him to do that, as he's kind of putting out a refreshing kind of movie for the DC universe, which we know has kind of been a disappointment here or there. But next pin of news, we got about 3 more here, so stay with us, guys. Cobra Kai season 4 hits Netflix in December. Which yeah, okay, that's what I thought. You've seen all 3 seasons so far?
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Dude,
awesome.
It's such a good show, man. I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be dope. Next bit of news here: South Park creators ink a massive. This is just freaking insane. $900 million deal with Viacom CBS, which includes 14 South Park movies, whether that's spinoffs or movies, surrounding the main characters in the show. With
900 million.
Yeah, 900.
Like almost a billion.
Yeah, like almost $1 billion deal, bro. I know. If you think about it, 14 movies.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah,
It's quite a bit of movies. So I mean, when you look at it from that way, but also that includes more seasons of South Park. So when I first saw that, I was like, are you kidding me? $900 million, dude.
Have you ever seen an episode?
I've seen a couple episodes, yeah.
I haven't. Is it good? Is it funny?
I mean, yeah, there's certain parts that are funny. It's not like that show and Family Guy are not my kind of humor.
Yeah.
But I did find them funny, the ones that I did watch. And I'm sure for the certain demographic of people or audience that watched it is gonna enjoy the crud out of this. But yeah, $900 million deal. Just imagine. That's more than a lot of NBA players make.
Yeah, I know. It really is.
It's quite insane. I had to throw in a little sports thing there. And finally, for our weekly headlines, Deadpool 3 reportedly has a 70% chance of filming next year. Ryan Reynolds, obviously the lead actor that plays Wade Wilson or Deadpool, recently said that we are really actively developing it and getting it into pretty good shape. So that's pretty good news. We're hoping that they get to film it next year, which that means that they'd be able to get that out as soon as possible. But with COVID and all that kind of stuff, you never know. That's why it's probably just 70%. But we'll see. Personally, I'm a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds in general. Really funny guy, really good actor, super talented, but also a fan of Deadpool, as it is really funny.
The third one's going to be tied with the MCU, right?
Yes, I mean it should be. Yeah,
should be.
It should be due to that Fox and Disney merger. So yeah, it might be. I think so. I'm pretty sure, but
I hope so.
Yeah, they might have to cut back on a couple things because it's MCU and.
Well, they said they were going to keep it R-rated. So.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that they're going to change that, because I mean, if they made it PG-13, like what's the point in Deadpool?
Did you see that Ryan Reynolds pitched an idea to Disney about a spinoff movie of him hunting down the person who killed Bambi's mom?
Yes.
The hunter who killed Bambi's mom.
Bro, I did see that yesterday actually, and I was like, wow. Do you know how left
He said he
field
wanted to
that idea is.
interrogate.
Yeah. Like how out of
It's
left
just,
field that idea is, but how awesome that would be.
what do you just come up with that? Like he's probably watching Bambi with his kids and was just like, I want to find them and kill them.
Yeah, he probably is. I mean, being, Ryan Reynolds is just one of those actors that, embraces the character and like is a almost exact replica of who Deadpool is, humor wise or whatever. So like with him, like you can't think of anybody else that could do Deadpool. Tony Stark, you can't think of anybody else. Michael Scott, you couldn't think of anybody else other than Steve Carell.
Shoot, Logan, Wolverine.
Logan.
I wouldn't. Hugh Jackman. Nah,
Yeah,
nobody
so
else.
he's one of those rare guys, rare actors that does that.
True.
It's just been really cool. So hopefully we get Deadpool 3 as soon as possible in theaters. So man, that's it for our weekly headlines. Let's transition to our episode 24 topic of the day, which I haven't mentioned yet, but in thinking about what to talk about when Garrett was like, hey man, you can talk about this certain movie, you can talk about a sports movie, and I really didn't want to talk about a sports movie. Kind of wanted to steer away from that. But I was just thinking and then talking to you, and I was like, let's see, let's not try to do a singular movie, but let's think of multiple movies. And then that thought turned into, oh, let's do franchises. Let's do franchises we like and ones that we don't like. And then why we like them or don't like them, whatever. So that's what our topic is today, guys. Cinema Lounge listeners, we're going to talk about movie franchises. And what that means is, to me anyway, a franchise is basically a collection of movies or a series of movies. So we're looking at, I would say a franchise would be 2 or more movies in a certain universe or whatever, for lack of a better word. So let's get into it. Ethan, I'm going to propose this question to you. Obviously, there's many famous franchise out there, ones that are beloved, ones that people go to every single time they want to sit down and watch and binge. But I'm gonna ask you, what couple franchises do you really love, and tell me why?
I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I love the MCU. I love Star Wars. I love all these different type of movie franchises, but I was thinking of one that I could sit and watch all day, every day. The Rocky franchise, bro. I love Sylvester Stallone and I love Rocky Balboa. I don't know, man. I love like watching it, like all the drama leading up to the fight. And then when the fight like like they start, like the round starts, and then you just hear Eye of the Tiger, or you hear like any of the songs. Like Rocky is my favorite series. Will always be my favorite series, man. I can't get enough of it. Rocky 4 when he goes to Russia to fight Ivan Drago.
Oh,
Like,
so
that was
classic.
beautiful. Right? And like Ivan was like, I will like he was like, I will break you. And like, no, you won't. Shut up, dude. Like, this is Rocky Balboa. Like, this is Rocky Balboa. What do you like? Yeah. Like, hey, would you tie in the Creed movies to the Rocky franchise? Or do you think that's its own franchise? Creed.
That's a great question. I would tie it in. Well,
Okay, well,
no.
no. Okay,
I
because
don't, think about it in MCU terms. Like what would be an example of that? So like let's say Iron Man has his
can we
own,
call it like the Rocky verse? Like the Rocky verse?
I mean,
Like
I
that, like
guess.
it's like a big umbrella, and you just got it's like a spinoff. Those are spinoffs,
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
say.
yeah. There's spin-offs. I don't think they'll be a part of it. I think
Okay, well,
same
yeah.
universe.
Okay, well, I like the Creed movies too. I think Michael B. Jordan was amazing. Adonis Creed to play Apollo Creed's kid, and then I love that Rocky's still there, even though I think this next one will be his last one. Then he's done. I know, but Rocky, I just love it. I could sit it all day. I could watch it all day.
Yeah, Rocky is one of those classic ones. I especially love 4. When he goes beats the crap out of him. I just love that so much. And Creed too. Although it's not, part of the sequels or whatever. It's part of that same universe, and like you said, it's really really good spinoff, which I bet many people thought wouldn't work, but it has so far. So I love Creed as well. For me, since you went first, one certain franchise that works for me, ones that same with you, bro. Like I go back and I can just watch over and over and not get tired of it. And I'll try to stay away from MCU stuff for a little bit.
Oh, really? I thought it was going to be the MCU. I was
No,
expecting you to say Endgame 18 times.
dude, Endgame, it's a problem. Endgame's such a problem. But no, one series that I can sit down and watch all 6 movies of. Can you guess?
Okay. Well, I was going to say Star Wars, but I mean, I don't count the last 3.
This certain franchise has 6 movies. Can you guess?
Who's the actor?
I can't tell you that. It's gonna give it away, bro.
Can you give me another actor?
Simon Pegg.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the Scottish guy. He
Is it
played.
Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay. Okay, then what is it now?
Mission Impossible.
I've only seen the first 3. I haven't seen the rest. I need to.
Bam. Okay. So this franchise is okay. So in my opinion, the first one, obviously it being the first one, it came out in the 90s, I believe it was, or early 2000s. It wasn't for me. I didn't really enjoy it. But Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise, he's going to be great really in anything that he's in. And the certain scene, the certain stunt that he does, which I'm sure you've seen before, where he comes out of the ceiling and he's in that rope and he's coming down and like is that close to the floor. That was cool. That's one that I remember from that film. And then 2 stepped it up a little bit, got better. 3 was it kind of went backwards. It was all right. The villain was okay. But then, dude, which you need to see it. 4, 5, and 6, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout were just those. If those could have been 3 separate movies by themselves, it'd have been the best franchise ever. I'm convinced. But 1, 2, and 3 kind of hold them back altogether. But Ghost Protocol, man, the stunts that he does in Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, he does all of his own, right?
Yes, especially on the tower in Dubai, I believe is where it was. The fact that he did that, and then not only that, stepped it up in the 5th one, Rogue Nation, by going on a side of a freaking plane.
Yeah, I saw the video for that. He was holding on to it. That was he's got balls.
He's got big ones. And then
Kahunas.
and then Fallout being amazing as well, which I need to watch that movie again because I can't remember the stunt that he does for the life of me. But man, it's just,
I heard in the next one he's going to be doing a stunt in space.
Yeah, I heard that too, which I don't doubt whatsoever. And you can understand the commitment that Tom Cruise gives, because in the filming of Fallout, he broke his ankle when he was jumping in the building, which you kind of see in the film, which is kind of funny once you know the context. But yeah, when you factor in he does his own stunts, and the story, yes, it's like, oh, it's the cliche, get these nuclear codes from this bad guy or whatever, because he's going to blow up everybody, he's going to kill a bunch of people, that just that recycled plot that you see in spy action thrillers. Sure, it can be repetitive, but the way that they execute it, and the characters that they have, which I mentioned, Simon Pegg being the actor, in there, he's there for comic relief. He's really funny. You had Jeremy Renner in there for a little bit. He showed up in 4 and 5, but didn't show up in 6 because of Marvel stuff. But the characters and the way that they execute them, the way that they develop them, makes you care for them. And it's just an amazing franchise. One that I'm glad that I've experienced. And I'll go next on the ones that work for me, and then I'll let you go next. I also am super, super in love with the newer Planet of the Apes.
No, I haven't seen it.
You ever seen those, bro?
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know, man. I haven't tried them out.
dude. You knew there was older ones, right?
Yeah, I know. I know about the older ones. I think I've seen Dawn. Yeah, I think I've seen that one. But the
Yeah,
other one,
it's such a good franchise. Starting with Rise. Yeah, starting with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and then Dawn, and then War for the
that's the one I saw. Rise. Yeah.
Rise obviously being really good with James Franco in there. Um, it established the characters and whatnot. But really the whole franchise as a whole um, really made you, although they're apes, they made you in some way care for them, which I thought was really cool. So that franchise is just dope as heck, and the action scenes that they do in there too, when they fight with humans or whatnot, it's just really dope. So I would suggest watching that sometime, Ethan, for sure. But what other franchise do you, man?
What other franchises? Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh, I've gotten into the Fast and Furious franchises recently.
bro.
Yeah,
Which
those
ones
are
have you
good.
seen?
Those are, huh?
Which ones have you seen?
I've seen them. I've seen. I stopped at the last one Paul Walker was in.
That was emotional.
Yeah, it was. I need to. I stopped, and I don't really remember why. I haven't seen the rest. I think I got sidetracked with something, but like those are really good. Those were really good. Like I mean, like it was kind of weird how they like went from literal like street racing
Yeah,
to like movies like Hobbs and Shaw, where you got meta like superpowered, like not, but you got like Captain America's up in there, like. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I like that one. That one was really good. But I mean, Karate Kid's probably the one I go with. That one works for me. I
yeah,
only count the ones with Daniel LaRusso. I don't like the Jaden Smith one. I don't like the one with that girl. Just Daniel LaRusso.
yeah. What do you like about the Karate Kid franchise?
Well, I like older movies. First of all, I like that it's vintage. I just like it's like I feel like older movies. They're kind of just like quirky a little
Yeah,
bit, and like uh, it just seemed a little off, and like the fighting scenes in some movies seem a little weird. But I feel like that wasn't really the case with the Karate Kid. It was very well put together, and like you know the like all valley tournaments were dope. Like the fighting, the infamous crane kick, and then the second one when they went to China or Japan, whichever. I can't ever tell them apart. But when they had that little fight at that festival at the end, and then the third movie, those were all great. And then you got the Cobra Kai show. That I that was I like Karate Kid. It's one of my favorites, and I feel like it works for me.
yeah. Karate Kid is a classic, man. It's one of
Yeah,
those that you remember certain scenes from, and you remember
yeah,
the tournament, and how awesome that was, and how um, Cobra Kai was trying to break Daniel. Um, but it's such a great franchise. I'm blanking on so many names. Um, Daniel is a character. Mr.
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi. My gosh, I don't know why I was blanking on that.
Uh, uh, John. No, it's not John. It's a. Oh, I'm blanking. Terry, you got Terry. I almost said Cruz. Terry Silver.
Yeah,
Terry Silver. You got who? What was the name of a? I think his name was John. He was the sensei for Cobra Kai, the one from the military. Yeah, his name was John something. John, I can't remember his name.
I'm so bad right now. I'm just not
I
remembering names.
I can't even remember the name of Terry or Daniel's like rival. Johnny.
Johnny. Well, yeah,
Johnny
because he's
was.
in the Cobra Kai series.
Yeah,
Dang.
I know. Oh man, I just excuse us. Like, yeah,
Yeah, excuse us right now. We might not sound
it's
like
been a.
real fans, but
It's been a long day.
it's been, hey, yeah, you worked, bro. You're all good. I was just blanking on so many names. But yeah, Karate Kid, such a classic franchise. One franchise that works for me as well. It's more on the animated side. Um, and one that I go back and watch. And when I watch it, I kind of, I enjoyed it as a kid, but I can enjoy it now as a 20-year-old. That being Toy Story, which, man, when the first one came out, I watched it, as a kid. Obviously, I wasn't alive when it first came out, but I watched it as a kid, really enjoyed it. Of course, I loved Woody and Buzz, and all the toys there. And I was that kid that wanted all the toys. I wanted a Woody, I wanted a Buzz, I wanted the T-Rex, I wanted Jessie, although she came in the second movie. But that's what Toy Story did for me. I fell in love with that. And then being the second one, I would say probably, if I were to criticize it, as a, person that, cares about movies now, it's probably the weaker one of the franchise, but still really good and memorable stuff from it as we got introduced to Jesse. Um, and then the third one being, in my opinion, the best one and one of the best animation films I've ever seen. Um, just how they handled that with the messages that they sent, how sometimes when you're, with Andy growing old, he had to let go of his toys. And that could be a bigger message, as it's hard for us to let go of some things. But when we do, it gives us peace. It can give us peace. So just the message they had behind that was just amazing. A lot of memorable stuff from it. Also, the last scene, the emotional scene of Andy leaving and all the toys sitting. I'm blanking at her name again. Um, at the new owner's house. The little girl, I cannot remember her name for the life of me. I feel so bad. Um, but as Andy's leaving, all the toys are watching him leave. He's going to college, and Woody's like, "So long, partner." And that was the last line, and that was pretty dang emotional. Watching that as a young kid, I think it was when it first came out, but even getting emotional watching it now. So it's a really great movie. But also four coming out not too long ago, which I was kind of skeptical about for the fourth one coming out because of how the third one ended. But it was fine. It was a fine addition. It focused a lot on Woody and Buzz, mainly on Woody, but it did focus on Buzz and Woody a little bit and their relationship. So that was a good movie. But in general, in far of impact of my life, Toy Story definitely is up there. Um, a franchise that has meant a lot to me and one that I could go back and watch multiple times. And one that's classic among, people who love animation or people who love Disney or just in general. Because it's just one of those movies you can throw on one, two, three, or four, and kids would watch the heck out of that and enjoy it. So that's what makes it great. What about you, bro? If you got a couple more that you like before we get into ones that we don't really care for or we don't think that work.
Okay. Fine. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It's okay. He's probably not my favorite Spider-Man. He's not my favorite Spider-Man, but it's a classic. And seeing that for the first time, like, sparked my love for Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero to ever exist. I love him, and like, he was my favorite so much I had to be sent to the doctor and to the emergency room for letting spiders bite me because I wanted to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was bad, man. Like, I had a problem. I dreamt about being Spider-Man. I dreamt about crawling up and down walls. Like, I don't know, man. When you also said that a franchise could be two movies, so I'm using the first two because I just try not to remember the third movie. But that first movie was awesome. You got William Dafoe playing Green Goblin. He did a great job at it. That was a good what's the name? What do you call it? It was like a coming of age story, becoming a superhero story. Like, that was really cool. And then the second movie was just amazing. Like they introduced Doc Ock. You got Alfred or whoever that played Doc Ock, and he's going to be returning in No Way Home.
It definitely was the best
You
edition.
know,
That definitely was the best.
yeah,
Man of that franchise.
that was. I don't know, man. Tobey, like that was a good movie, and I could sit down and watch that again. Like that, I don't know, that was good. The my favorite scene from that movie is when he stops the train, and then he like passes out, but they all catch him and they carry him inside the train. And they're just like, he's just a boy, he's just a kid. That was cool. That kind of touched my heart. I was like, dang.
Yeah, they definitely
Dang.
humanized him.
Yeah, humanized him. That's perfect. Yeah. And then they just like kind of handed him the mask, and he puts it on, and then he jumps out of the train and goes saves the day. That was awesome. He goes and saves Mary Jane from Doc Ock.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene. That movie in particular was really good, and we can forget about the third one.
Yes, we can. Like who? Why do you get Topher Grace to play Eddie Brock? Like the kid from '70s show to play Eddie Brock.
They
like,
totally did Venom wrong, bro. And Eddie wrong. Venom and Eddie, they totally did him wrong.
They did him wrong, yeah.
And excuse me, they also, I mean, I liked and I empathized with the Sandman and his motives, but like to have him and Venom in the same movie was kind of a little overcrowding, especially with Green Goblin too, Harry.
Yeah, Goblin too.
He turned good or whatever towards the end, but still like it was a little overcrowded, so that's why it really didn't work. But franchise as a whole, it was good. I would agree with that.
I read that Sam Raimi didn't even want it that way, but whatever. Who was it? What was the name of the films? Huh? It was Sony?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just pushed it on him, and he had plans for these 3 villains, but he was like more spread out, like into like a 6-movie franchise. But like, have you read, like they dropped the he posted on Twitter like the script for the 4th movie. It's like a lot of pages, but I read it. Oh, that was brilliant. It should have happened that way, but it didn't. Oh well.
Is it still online or is it taken down?
No, I'm sure you could find it. It's like 40 pages, 50 pages. Like I'm gonna say it took me a minute to read it, but it was like it talked about Vulture, it talked about Shocker, it had all different types of villains in there, and it was like more story to Peter, like him and Mary Jane. I was like, why didn't it happen this way?
Yeah, I'll definitely
check that out. Yeah, definitely
check that out. But moving on to franchises that don't work, because that we know when it comes to franchises, it's usually you can do really well with the first one, and you can do really well or even better the second time and step it up. But over the course of film history, sometimes people are not as engaged when it comes to the third one. So sometimes it doesn't work, but in general, there's some franchises that just don't work in all 3 or all 4, or all 5, 6 movies or whatever. But they continue to make them anyway for, there's people that do love them or cash grab. So I'm gonna start out with one of the franchises that I have, and then I'll let you speak on that. But one franchise that I bet that they try their hardest, but it just has not worked for me. And every time I watch it, even the first one, which is considered the best one, I still cringe. And I don't really enjoy it. But the Transformers franchise.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of them since like the I haven't bothered.
Your audio is pretty choppy right now, my guy. Here, try getting are you good?
Yeah, yours is too.
It's choppy.
I don't know.
Audio's choppy.
Yeah. Yours is too. You want me to leave and come back?
No, I got you back.
We're good.
I got you back.
We're good.
You haven't seen him since 3rd grade, he said?
Yeah, I haven't seen since the third one. I haven't given a chance.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just to me, it's like the casting of Shia LaBeouf is fine. Like I liked him. He was a funny character. Um, but obviously with Megan Fox being in there with, you know, guys mainly just wanting to watch because of her. Um, I really found her annoying. Um, instead
Yeah,
of,
she is
you
kind
know,
of
the
annoying.
person that you're attracted to or that girl that everybody crushes about. I didn't really think that. I was just like, dang, she's annoying. Um, but yeah, the way that they treated them and other certain characters that came in um, were just not work for me. And you know, the certain storylines that they chose. You know, the first one was fine. Obviously, that was the basic plot line, but you know, when it came to Rise of the Fallen, I believe is what the second one's called. That was still like I didn't really enjoy that one. Uh, the third one, Dark, Dark of the Dark of the something with moon in it. Man, I don't even remember.
Dark of the Moon. Dark of the
Dark of the
Moon.
Moon. Okay, yeah, the third one being Dark of the Moon. Um, that was, I will say, it was a lot better than the second one or first one, but still, with the characters, it just was not executed well. And how they progressed throughout the story, I didn't really enjoy. Um, but then it really went downhill with the fourth one with Mark Wahlberg when he started coming in. Age of Extinction, I believe, is what it was called. Um, oh, how about those dogs?
I know, man. Who let the dogs out?
But with Age of Extinction, and then the fifth one, which I can't even, I don't. Oh, the Last Night, I think. Um, the fifth one still wasn't good for me. And Michael Bay was a part of all those. Which Michael Bay, he has some good films. Don't get me wrong, but that was just a franchise that he shouldn't have done because you could tell it was his style and it kind of was just a little too much for me. I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care about the characters, and I haven't even mentioned the Autobots and Decepticons. Of course, I loved Bumblebee. I think they did him well. He was funny. He was bad A, for lack of a better word. He was dope as heck. Optimus Prime, he had some great redeeming moments, really cool scenes. But as far as that, Megatron, I wish was in more, and you know, I wish he would have done more. But you know, it is what it is, and everybody else, I didn't really, you know, care for as much as those three. So there could have been better execution as far as that, but yeah, that franchise is one that I don't really go and watch or really think about anymore. As it's a franchise that I've watched all of them probably multiple times now, but ones that I've not considered ever rewatching again. So, what about you, man? You got one that you don't really watch or you know?
I got I got one that can I say a movie that I do not think should get a sequel?
Yes.
The Joker.
Why?
I don't think the Joker should get a sequel. I think it
Because
should
wait,
end.
because of how
I
good
don't
it is.
because of how good it is. Yeah, I think a second movie would ruin it, especially if they're not gonna have like I get like during this time Bruce Wayne is a kid, but I don't want to see another Batman because they already got Robert Pattinson, they got Ben Affleck, they got Michael Keaton returning as Batman. I don't need to see another person cast as Batman because I know in the second movie I read something about a time jump and like it might be like a few years later. Joker's the king of like he's the prince of Gotham, like he's taken over everything, and then you've got Batman rising up. But it will be like from the Joker's point of view, is what I read, and I don't want that to happen because I don't need to see another Batman. And I feel like it'll just ruin it, you know. Like if they made this Joker tie into like Robert Pattinson's Joker or Batman, I'm all for it. But I think the Joker, the first movie was just amazing. And I think they kind of ended it with like it seems like Joaquin Phoenix was like not like he was just mental. Like I feel like it to me it seems like it all just happened in his head. Like going to them, going like, right. He went on that talk show and he shot the guy. And then, he was all throughout the city being crazy, doing Joker things, whatnot. I felt like it all happened in his head. And this entire time he's been in the asylum. And like, it just needs to stay that way. I don't want to see the second movie. That's just me though.
That's a fair opinion. Hey man, that's a fair opinion. Look, Joker is one of those top 5 movies of all time for me. I
It's a great movie.
Really loved it. Joaquin Phoenix killed Arthur Fleck and he killed Joker. And at first I thought, wow, this would be really good if it was just a standalone film. But of course it made so much money. So the studio is going to pressure, or fans are going to pressure them to make a second one because of how much how much money they made. But as far as the second one, I would agree with you in that it might ruin it, but also it couldn't, depending on what they do. And I'm kind of on the side of trusting what they would do with that. But that totally does not rule out the possibility that, if they were to do an up and coming story of another Batman, that it would just be literally another Batman in recent history. Like we've had Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson, and now potentially another one, all within a span of 7 years. So
Christian Bale too. Christian Bale.
So even 10 years. So the fact that we've had that many Batmans redone and recycled through, it's just, I can see where that can be a little tiring.
Like literally in the last, I want to say 20 plus years, you have Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George freaking Clooney with his nipples on his bat suit. You got Christian Bale, got Ben Affleck. I mean, even if you count David Mizzou from Gotham, the TV show. Have you seen that show?
I have not, but I've seen clips of that.
You have to. That is
a Joker.
Dope show. Yeah. That is an amazing show. Yeah, the Joker in that show was amazing. But I don't want to see another Batman. I'm ready for Robert Pattinson to be Batman because his trailer was amazing, and that made me really I don't need another Batman.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I don't understand why they would want to do that. But we'll see.
We'll see.
Do a Joker 2. We'll see what they even do, whether they do a different version of Joker from a different universe, or they go the route of Arthur Fleck inspiring another Joker and we go through his story. So I mean, you never know. They could do probably a lot of stuff.
In the new Flash movie that's coming out, Flashpoint, Ezra Miller's Flash is going to change everything, and it'll make Michael Keaton's Batman the canon Batman for the DC extended universe. And something with Ben Affleck, I'm not sure if he doesn't exist or whatever, but it's going to make Jared Leto's Joker. He's not the real Joker. He's just somebody who took inspiration from Jack Nicholson's Joker from the Michael Keaton movies. So Jared Leto's not even the real Joker. It's Jack Nicholson. He just took inspiration.
Hey, they could, that's really cool. They could go that same route with Joker 2, just inspiring somebody to be a psychopath killer. But as far as any franchise you don't care for, is there one that you can think of? I know you mentioned one before the show, but you mentioned Star Trek.
Oh yeah, I don't care for Star Trek. I like the new movies. I like the newer Star Treks. I know it's a different timeline of what would have happened in one of the older Star Trek movies.
Yeah,
I like them. I like Chris Pine. I think he's a good actor, and I think he, I really don't have anything to compare him to the original. What's his name? I don't remember his name. But I like the newer Star Treks. The older ones I can't get into. I've tried, they're just old, and they're just they seem so splotchy and they seem so quirky. It's just, and then the fight scenes are literal. I'm pretty sure it's Play-Doh that they're just playing with, but I can't sit there and watch them. I can't. And I just I understand they're a classic, but I can't get into them. especially if you want to watch it all in order, you have to watch like 5 seasons of the show, then a movie, another movie, and then like go back and watch this other show that came out later. It's awful. Like you got one movie, you got like half of it in the 70s and then the other half in the early 2000s for the middle part, and then the third part is like in the 80s. It's just like the continuation is messed up, and I can't focus on that. I don't want to take my time to do that.
No, I totally understand, man. I don't really care for the older ones. I've watched all 3 of the newer ones, and I do enjoy those. Oh, excuse me. Oh, it was coming. I tried to catch it, but yeah, the newer ones are a lot better in my opinion, but that's a franchise that I don't really go back and watch all the time like I would the other Star movies, Star Wars.
No. Can those last 3 movies be a franchise that we don't like?
Your audio's, wait, are you back?
Yeah, I think so.
What did you say?
I said, can the last 3 movies of Star Wars be like a franchise we don't like? Because they count as, what are they?
Yeah, it counts as a reboot,
sequels?
right?
They're sequels, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can. I'll let you count it because I know that they're not that strong, bro. They're not really that good. We didn't get to talk about it. I'm sure people know that. I'd say Force Awakens was the best one out of them, but other than that,
yeah,
a lot of the choices that they made were just not good.
I like the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, that was.
I only like the fighting scene, like with Ben Solo when he comes out. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think Rise of Skywalker, in certain areas was and when they decided to literally copy the same exact thing that Avengers Endgame did, with the whole ships in the air and backing up, I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? Literally, this was Captain America with Black Panther coming in first, and then everybody that made me mad. But anyway, yeah, that franchise, those 3 movies were kind of whack. But man, let's go into to close the episode, because that's all the franchises I didn't care for. Man, let's get into our recommendations. Is there any movie? I know that by the time that you guys are listening to this, Jungle Cruise would have been out by now with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, which I'm hoping to see that soon. Suicide Squad would have been out. Old would have been out, and other couple of movies like that. But I know for a fact, just for your guys' information for when you listen to this, Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds is going to be coming out. I believe it's August 13th or something like that. As well as Respect, which stars Jennifer Hudson, which is the life story of the R&B singer, legendary one, Aretha Franklin. So that looks to be kind of cool. And also just another popular one that'll be coming out is Don't Breathe 2, the sequel to the first Don't Breathe, which is a horror movie. So those are movies that are coming up. But as far as weekly recommendations, Ethan, do you have any recommendations for the Cinema Lounge podcast listeners?
I've got 2 TV shows.
Yeah.
This is first one is like more like, it's like for you superhero lovers, or like, Titans on HBO Max. It's called Titans. It's a live action TV show of the Teen Titans. You've got Robin, Beast Boy, Starfire, Raven. You got Superboy. That's a real good show. There's 2 seasons right now. Then you've got the 3rd season that comes out not this Friday, but next Friday. That's a real good show. It's a little darker take on the team and the superheroes, and it's not tied in to the DC extended universe. It's not connected to any of that. It's just its own little world within the multiverse, but it's really good, and that's a suggestion of mine. And then Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is a little I wouldn't suggest it to young kids, but it's a good show. The last 2 seasons were kind of But the rest of it, oh man, that's the only reason I want to see the Eternals, because it has Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, and then shoot, I can't remember his name, but he plays okay, it's been a long day. I can't remember his name either, but
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is a really good show.
Yeah. For sure, man. Those are great recommendations. So for you Cinema Lounge podcast listeners, go check those out. Those both should be on HBO Max. If you want to go watch those. As far as me, I have two movies that I would recommend to you guys. One being Old, which was directed and written by M. Night Shyamalan. Or Shyamalan, one of those. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I think it's Shyamalan. But he directed and wrote the trilogy of movies, which I didn't even talk about. That is a franchise, but that's a good one. Unbreakable, and then Split, and then
that is a good movie.
He did those
Jane.
He did those three movies. All three were pretty good, in my opinion. But yeah, he did this movie, and it's really, I won't say that it's a perfect movie, but the concept of, a family going to an island and rapidly aging by the minute was really interesting. And some things that they did were really cool and really freaky. And then some things that they did was, could have been better, but I would recommend go seeing it, as it was a very good, experience to watch. And the second movie I would recommend is the 9th installment of Fast and Furious. Man, when I first heard about the 9th one coming out, which I know they're doing more, but they're expanding the universe a lot more. But when I first saw that, a 9th one was coming out, I was like, man, when are they just going to stop it? They could have stopped it at 7 and whatnot, with Paul Walker being gone anyway. But man, the 9th one was really good. I enjoyed all of it, and the fact that they brought back a certain character was cool, which you probably already know who they brought back, but some might not. But they bring back a certain character, and that was really cool. They used
talking about at the very end, like when that car pulls up. No,
they brought back a character for the whole movie, but I will not say his or her name, just because spoiler warning or whatever. But that was cool to watch. And the same thing with Mission Impossible. Like, they try to up what they did in the last movie. And I feel like in some ways they did. And in some ways, it was just it was more action than cars, but they did go back to cars a little bit more than they did in 8, which 8 was more of a spy thriller, which I didn't really care for, but 9 was a whole lot better than 8, in my opinion. And even in some ways better than some of the older ones. So that was good. So those are my two movie recommendations. Ethan, do you have any other thoughts before we close out, man?
No, I do not.
All right, man. Hey, well, again, I appreciate you for coming on with me. You were a guy that I thought about when I was asked to do this, so I'm glad you were able to do it. Guys, go listen to the podcast that Ethan is on, Sports and Donuts, which I am a part of as well. So go listen to our podcast, Sports and Donuts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and go follow us on Instagram, all the things right there. That's all I got. That's all the plugging I need to do, because this is not my show. This is Garrett's show. But guys, thank you for listening to episode 24 of the Cinema Lounge podcast. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Garrett will be back next week. Just go watch movies, man.